Auditor General. You need 2/3 majority to remove them. But then they made sure that they marry with the DA and the other parties who are also funded by capitalists or who are used as a tool to divide and rule, to do that. Actually, it was, they made history.
It's very telling about the democracy that you are talking about, because when it was thought of as this beautiful thing, and people loved it all over the world, and it disturbs us. And you know, when I was quoting you to sit down with you, I kept explaining to you that, we are lost, we don't understand these things. So there was a time the late Pravin Gordhan was given questions to answer, and he did not even answer those questions, and may his soul rest in peace. And you went down that road as well. You asked the head of the executive to answer certain questions, and he has not answered those questions. Just explain to me these three arms of government. We're talking about the executive, we're talking about the legislative arm, we're also talking about the judiciary. In theory, these things should independently hold themselves independent from each other. And like I said, you are the first example of someone from this side meddling over the affairs of the other and influencing them. Just maybe bring it back to us so we could understand on how you were removed because you asked the head of the executive questions.
Yeah, indeed. Hence I said the removal of the head of the Chapter 9 institution, my removal basically, there were a number of strange things which happened, because it was a lot of choreographed process. You would see that people are sitting somewhere and they are telling this one, when we are done with her, it will come to you and you will have to make sure that you deal with her this particular way. There were a number of cases which one investigated, and I've explained over and over that the public protector is independent. The public protector does her work without fear or prejudice, and the public protector receives complaints from members of the public. And what's worse with this public protector of South Africa, which my counterparts from Africa were saying, we also want to have teeth, we also want to deal with this. And I used to say to them, the public protector or the ombudsman is created in such a way that it should have persuasive power. It's a go-between between the powerful, the state, and the individuals, the vulnerable, yes. And unfortunately, with our mandate was that this thing of investigating the executive, that's what a lot of the times put me in a situation where I was facing the challenge. What then transpired was that the investigation of the CX investigation, which my predecessor kept that investigation for 6 years, I would say. And, being this efficient person who will always want to make sure that we comply ourselves with our service standards. Remember, we investigate and should delay maladministration, and we cannot be blamed to be also taking long to investigate matters. When I finalized that investigation, because the investigation was conducted by her, then after that, through its finalization, on issuance of the Section 79 notice where an implicated party is given an opportunity to give us their side of the story, issued to the Reserve Bank, ABSA, to the President, and they all responded to that, and even National Treasury responded to that, but then to them it was a shock. Why am I investigating this? Forgetting that my predecessor investigated, interviewed Thabo Mbeki, Trevor Manuel, Crystals, and everyone regarding this the looting of the state resources through that particular process. Now, and the investigation was purely to check whether there was any improper conduct by the state by paying 600,000 euros to this foreign company to investigate and recoup all the monies which were stolen when the Reserve Bank gave that unlawful loan to Bangkok, and as well to recoup any amounts which were taken out of the country when we were gaining independence, or 1994. So that was also something which was unheard of, that I proceeded with that, issued the report. I was blamed that I lied by saying I've used economist, which one economist indeed was used, the late good son, who worked at the Reserve Bank. And the economist which was used was the one which was used when the matter was litigated upon, because that's where I needed that expertise. And that was said to be me lying, or I didn't tell the truth, and that the president intervened, and why I interviewed or met with State Security Minister. You know, because that investigation, when you are a public protector, you need to go and investigate and, you know, follow the truth. You cannot just rely on information. As an investigator, you don't just read Gupta leaks in the newspaper and find any person guilty. But you have to go beyond that. You have to interview, you have to subpoena documents, subpoena those statements. So that then put me in a very wrong path with them. And the report was issued, it was taken on review. I remember Chief Justice Mkhwebane delivered a minority judgment compared to against Kampembe, which is always being utilized as one of their tools. And it was also Theron who then said I should even be paying personal costs, imagine, as a head of the Chapter 9 institution. But I am glad that people then, when they were called upon, they donated monies. The public protected me. They paid those monies. Then Chief Justice Mkhwebane was saying, but Reserve Bank, you need to tell us, you are not above. I mean, you are a constitutional institution, an organ of state. You need to be investigated by the public protector, but then just be upfront about whether the monies were paid. Actually, it was the interest which was supposed to have been paid, was not paid. So that's where you would see the true capture of the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature.